Hi, it's Hope and welcome to the video. This is trippy because I'm filming on my phone instead of like my camera, because I want to see which one I like better, because on my camera I can't see myself while filming because the back doesn't flip up or anything, but that's besides the point. This is a reading vlog, not talking about cameras. So this is my reading vlog for the week of the November 28th through, what's Saturday? Through December 4th. It's hard to believe we're already entering December. So how these reading vlog works is I talk to you about what I'm reading in the week, maybe a little bit of other things as well. I know that today I am starting a new physical read, which I actually need to grab here, but I'll grab that in a second. First, I'll tell you about what I kind of did today and what I finished last night, because I wasn't able to talk about my last vlog. So last night I finished Liars by Dana Isley, and it's kind of like a mafia dark romance thing. And I am giving Liars 4 stars. I did really enjoy it. It was a very anticipated release, and it hit everything I wanted it to. I just wish it would have been a little bit longer because it was only 208 pages. I wish it was maybe closer to 250 or 300, but I still loved it nonetheless. And I'm very excited to see where book 3 goes, because we were left off on a pretty big cliffhanger. So yeah. And then the ebook that I currently have started, which again I'm carrying over from last week, is Secret Court by Angelina J. Steffer, and this is a epic and high YA fantasy where essentially follow, well, my explanation is going to be way different from where we are, but essentially we have Gandrit, who ends up having to go on this kind of quest to save this lord's son, and then now we're 5 books later, and we have 7 different point of views, and we have fae, we have prophecies, we have dragons, we have a war about to happen, we have a crazy ex-evil fae queen, we have, what else? We have characters having to pick sides, we have a character that is stuck in dragon form, and all of that, and just, I love it. So far I am 42% into Secret Court right now, and I will be reading a lot more of that tonight, hoping to hit about the 60-65% mark, give or take. And now onto the physical read that I am just about to start. And the physical book I'm about to read is Defy the Night by Bridget Kemmer. This is a library book, if you cannot tell by the sticker and all of that. This is a library book. Technically I should be reading a different book, because that other book is actually on my TBR, but in December I'm not taking any punishments, so I'm not reading it in December. I'm going to save it for June, because it's a queer middle grade, so we're going to save that for June. But Defy the Night, all I know about this is that it's amazing. A kingdom divided by corruption, the king desperately holding it together, a girl willing to risk everything to bring it all crashing down. And all I know is that we have Tessa, who works, who is apothecary apprentice, and there's this illness kind of wreaking havoc over the country, and she knows something to do with the cure, or knows where she could find something to do with the cure, and the king has the cure, and so she's trying to make it or something like that. I don't know. All I've heard is that this is amazing. I guess I can actually pull out that receipt, but the receipt from the library of being you checked it out, yada yada yada, it's due on the 3rd, but I extended it. So yeah, this is what I'm going to start. I'm very, very, very excited because I've only heard good things. I know that, I think it's Becca from the Becca Fowl loves this. And so I'm very, very, very excited to read this. Oh. Okay. There is a whole map. I haven't opened this book. There's a whole map. And like a whole table of contents almost at the beginning, like the political leaders of Kandala, which is the country, the outlaws, the cure. Okay, so I'm going to start this. I'm currently on, like, watching Julie from Julie Pages and Pens Sprint. She's currently doing sprints, and there's about 20 minutes left in the first sprint. So I'm going to be on that, and this clip is already super duper long, so I am just going to end this here, and I will let you know how far I get into this, my first initial thoughts, and all of that. So I've made it to page 77 of Defy the Night, and I read that in about an hour, so this is a pretty quick read. So again, I'll kind of explain a little bit more now that I know a little bit more about this. Is essentially we have Tessa, who's an apothecary who works with this guy named Wes to create this elixir to help with this illness that has randomly just started in the last few years, and it kills people. And this elixir is made with this thing called moonflower petal, and it is a very rare thing. It is only available in 2 sectors of, like, the city, and those sectors are guarded off and are, like, the more, like, prestige, like, the more, like, rich people, and then the rest of the sectors are kind of more poor people, and this elixir gets distributed to these people, but not as much as they should, so Tessa and Wes go and steal the moonbeam petals, create the elixir, give it to people in hopes of hopefully people not dying as much. And now we're at the point where there is, like, smugglers getting caught, because there's, like, thievery in this as well, and, like, we follow the point of view of Tessa as well as Cork, who is the king's jester. So essentially he is the prince, and his brother Harrison? His brother Harrison is the king, and yeah, that's kind of where I'm at so far. I'm really enjoying it so far. I definitely will be able to get this finished, hopefully before the end of the month, although my friend is coming over tomorrow, so I don't know how much I get to read tomorrow, but I'm not sure. So yeah, but the sprints are ending right now, and I'm going to, after the sprints, make some food because I'm hungry, and it's 9 o'clock, and then read some more of Secret Court, and in the morning I'll let you know how well that goes, and all of that, and yeah. Wow, so do I have a lot to update on in the last 12 to 15 hours. So the last thing I vlogged was me at about 9 o'clock saying I'm gonna get ready for bed and read some Secret Court and all of that. So I crawl into bed about 9 o'clock, and at about 10:15-ish there is this banging at the front door. I'm in my room, I'm in, like, pajamas, like a t-shirt and shorts, whatever, that's typically what I sleep in, and I am like, what the fuck is going on? So I leave my room. The neighbor is at our door yelling, "Your garage is on fire." Now, our garage is a detached garage. So essentially, like, our house is, like, almost, like, long, and then we have in our backyard about maybe, I want to say it's maybe 30 feet from the house, 40 feet, give or take from the house. There's, like, a detached garage that's maybe about 8 feet by 12 feet maybe, give or take again. Like, big enough to fit a car, but that's it. We don't use it. We used it for storage, and our neighbor's yelling, "911 has been called. Your garage is on fire." I'm sorry, our what's on fucking what? So we go outside, we go into the neighbor's driveway, and the garage is completely on fire, and it wasn't the little fire. I will, trigger warning for seeing flames, there was this photo that I took, and this photo that I took, and that's all the photos that I got personally. This shit is insane. The police didn't leave until like 1 in the morning. We literally, like, it is being investigated as an arson case, because my city's fire chief himself, first of all, lives down the street. But also, he said himself that this does not look like any sort of electrical or gas leak or anything like that, because there was electrical and gas going out there. And he was like, it didn't look accidental, it looked possibly man-made. So now there's an ongoing investigation. We have somebody watching our garage, or what's left of it, I guess, which this is the only photo I was able to get of the aftermath this morning. But essentially, we have somebody constantly watching the house and the garage to make sure that nobody tampers with the evidence. And, like, I am so thankful to our neighbors. Well, I think it's actually our neighbors' kids that were over there, because they were the ones that saw it. They were the ones that called 911, and we had an air compressor that outside of the garage that exploded. I immediately started freaking out. My mom was on the phone with the landlord. My dad was talking to, I think, a police officer, so I was, like, almost fucking broken. And then the lady just grabs me and is like, it's okay, everything's gonna be okay. Because my biggest fear was that the house was gonna catch on fire. And, like, this is honestly a traumatic thing, that, like, I still can hear that air, like, anytime I can just sit and I can hear that air compressor blow up and the fire spread. Like, today, like, yesterday was one of, like, I had to file a police freaking, like, witness statement of what I saw and who I thought I could have done it, because, again, they're treating it as an arson case. And so we obviously had to say, like, oh, who we think it is, and they're going to be doing that. They're going to be, like, investigating it all. I think, like, this afternoon, somebody's going to be coming over. I think the police chief himself is going to be coming over to investigate. And, like, it's so scary when you see about a dozen firefighters in your backyard and 3 fire trucks lining the street, because they obviously didn't know the size. They only thankfully needed 1 fire truck's resources. Like, well, they needed all the fire trucks, firefighters, but they only needed, like, the hoses and, like, that from the 1, which I'm so thankful for. I'm so thankful that Sask Energy was able to come and shut the gas off out there. Like, that's, like, the gas company that does it. The power company should be coming and cutting all power to that building. Like, I think permanently they're going to do it, because obviously there is no building anymore. This was just so stressful. So obviously I didn't get any reading done. I was sitting there scrolling on TikTok, literally about to switch over to my book. I didn't get to bed until like 5 a.m. and it's now, I got up at 10:30. And it's now 12, and also I was just notified that we made sastoday.ca, which is like almost like a newspaper thing, and the person that did the photos, like that took photos of the thing, came up with this photo, and this photo. So yeah, I mean, I am going to try to spend today going as normal as possible. I know my mom got paid yesterday. Yeah, she got paid yesterday, which was a Sunday, which was weird. But she got paid, so we got to go pay rent and, like, talk to the landlord, go do some shopping. And then, my friend was supposed to come over. I'm not mentally fucking prepared to see people. And then also, she got grounded, so she can't even come. Which is sad, but kind of like, okay, whatever. Like, she was one of the first people that I fucking messaged. But yeah, I will, let you know, like, let you update on reading. I know that this afternoon / this evening I will probably read just to, like, calm myself down. Might also take a nap, who the fuck knows. Because I got, like, 5 hours of sleep-ish. And that was on last night, like, not last night, but, like, the night before I got probably about 6 hours of sleep. So in the last 24 hours, I'm running on about, no, the last 48 hours, I'm running on about 11, 12, if we're being generous, hours of sleep. So yeah, I know that I need to upload my video, but that's currently still exporting, and, like, I'm still doing my normal routine, like, I will be editing my TBR and all that, so that goes up Wednesday, but I will keep you updated on also my mental state right now, because my mental state is, like, was chucked in the fire, essentially. So, yeah, that's what's happened in the last 24 hours, or since the last time I freaking talked. Oh yeah, and then also, our one cat got out when the neighbors were banging on the door and opened it. One of our cats got out and ran away. So, yeah, there's also that, I guess. I totally don't know if I mentioned that or not. But the local humane society is notified, and our family in town knows and all that to keep an eye on for him. So, yeah, thought I'd add that too, because that only adds to the mental state, because we immediately thought, oh, he ran into the fire. Luckily, the police chief confirmed that they did not find any animal remains, which was good, obviously. Okay, so it is 8:41, and I have today so far read up to page 230 of Defy the Night, which means I read over 150 pages today, and I've hit 50%. I'm loving this book. This book had a like a plot twist that I guessed it, but in the most stupid way of, because obviously we have the character of, as I mentioned before, of Wes, or did I use the full name Weston? I mentioned one of those names before, and it's literally said in the book, like, essentially of how he's like, are you sure that's my real name? And I was like, yeah, no, we know it's not, but who could you be? Ha ha ha, what if you're blank character? I'm not going to say because of spoilers. And, bing bam boom, Bob's your uncle. It was correct. And I literally had to, like, there's a thing where something happened, and I had to, like, go back and read it. And that thing happened again, and I literally reread that page about 10 different times to, like, be like, I'm sorry. Huh? My theory was correct, but I didn't want it to be correct. This book is so different than I thought it would be. Because I was like, because of how it says in the thing, as rumors spread that the cure no longer works and sparks of rebellion begin to flare, a particularly cruel act from the king's justice makes Tessa desperate enough to try the impossible, sneaking into the palace. But what she finds on the inside makes her wonder if it's even possible to fix Kandala without destroying it first. That didn't make me think we were going in this way, in the way that the book goes. I absolutely love Tessa so much. Like, I don't know what it is about her that makes me love her. Like, I don't know. Like, honestly, this might be a 5-star if it sticks to where I think it's going and how it is going so far. It will be a 5-star, and I hate how shiny it is because my computer. But I genuinely am in love with this book. Oh my gosh. Prince Korik is definitely something. I'll just leave that there. But I 100% plan on finishing this tomorrow, probably. Yeah. And but I'm going to go and actually read some Secret Court because, well, didn't read anything last night, obviously. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to read some of that because that book comes out tomorrow, and I'd love to have a review written for tomorrow, although I highly doubt I'm not finishing it until tomorrow. But right now, I don't care when I finish it. Obviously, I went through fucking trauma here. So, yeah. Okay, so it is 11:50 and I'm just now picking up the camera for the day. Well, my phone, because I'm filming this on my camera this week. I'm filming the vlog on my phone this week to see if I like the quality better or not. But, so last night I made it to 66% of Secret Court, and it's release date for the book, so I'm wanting to try to get as much as I can of that book done tonight, although I highly doubt I'll finish it. Last night, what I read, I loved. We had two characters that were apart, come back together now, and like all that. I also edited my vlog. Not my vlog, I edited my TBR video. I had it so I'm tired, I can't comprehend words. But I also edited my TBR and is currently exporting. And then I finished this. It gets 5 stars, and I now want to buy myself a physical book, a physical copy, and I will 100% be pre-ordering the sequel. Like, hands down. I don't think it's available for pre-order yet, but as soon as it's available for pre-order, I will. I knew I was gonna love this, but I didn't expect it to be a 5-star, but these characters have, like, whittled their way into my heart, and I genuinely love Tessa and Korik so much. And, like, yeah, again, I knew I was gonna love it, but I didn't expect to love it this much. Like, it's 5 stars. I don't think it's a favorite of the year, but it's definitely, like, a 5-star. I really enjoyed it. I love the characters. I love the world. I love where it ends, of, like, things happened, and there's going to be more things happening, and I'm very curious to see where it goes. So, yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say. Also, I literally love this cover so fucking much. But yeah, I want to get my own copy of it. Cause yeah, this is a library book. I probably mentioned that before, that I'm borrowing this from my library, hence the barcode, duh. But I think that's all I have to say. So yeah, I will let you know what everything going on in the morning. I know that I am buying some books secondhand from somebody tomorrow, so I'll talk about those when I get them, because I'm so excited for them. Like, I saw them on, like, my local Facebook Marketplace, and was like, I need those, but you'll have to see what those are in the morning, or, well, probably in the next clip, most likely. So it is now 3:46 on Wednesday, and I'm currently watching Ashley from Ashley Media Addiction. She's doing some sprints, so there's that. But then also the books that I mentioned last night, my mom gave me the money for them, because I'm broke. I mean, I did go to work today for a whopping hour and 15 minutes and made a whopping $15, so I'm going to have at least a check for $15 in December. But the books that I got, these were $10 each, they're $20 in total, is Fable by Adrienne Young and Namesake by Adrienne Young. And yes, these are the books that if you put them together, it makes a person's face. And I'm very excited about these because I saw them on the Facebook Marketplace and was like, I need these, because also they are unread hardcovers. And I didn't realize that these had beautiful under the dust jacket covering. I also believe they're first editions. Yeah, they're also first editions, so that's Fable. Namesake is upside down. Namesake, oh, that's the back. Get your head on straight. And then that, I love this cover. Like, I love this color of this. Yeah, and this is also a first edition as well. Yeah, so, like, yeah. I'm not gonna pass up first edition hardcovers for $10 a piece when they are completely unread and in perfect condition. Like, honestly, these are in the exact same condition that they would be in if I were to go to the bookstore and buy them, but I saved like $30. Because literally, with my Plum Plus membership buying through Indigo, they would have cost, I think it was $49 something. These were $20. So yeah, But last night I did manage to finish Secret Court, and oh my gosh, can it be like April? Please and thank you, because essentially without spoilers, like heavy spoilers for the series, essentially there was something that a character didn't know that we knew as readers, but they didn't know because it was something that was supposed to be kept from them. They found out, but we don't know their reaction. All we know is that they found out, and all that. And I'm very curious to see his reaction to everything. And then also the very, very last page is essentially there is a character who's essentially, this isn't huge spoilers, but essentially whose body has kind of almost been used as like a vessel for something. And essentially we find out that the person whose body has been taken over is still semi-conscious inside, but we don't know anything else about that. I literally like had to be like, huh? I mean, what, next chapter? No, wait, there's no next chapter. The next chapter is a chapter of the author's next book, of like a past book, a book in the past, like a book that they've already published and entirely published the series, which I do really want to try to read next year. I want to really try to read Angelina's backlist, as well as continue reading things that she is like writing as well. So yeah. Okay, so I said I was gonna film this whole vlog on my phone, but I already have the camera set up from filming because I just filmed my November end of month wrap up, and these books will self-destruct in 12 months, which you will see later in the month of December for one of my 12 days of Bookmas videos. But I'm not starting a physical book because it is already 9 o'clock. Holy shit. It's already 9 o'clock and I don't want to start a physical book. Also, I don't know which one I want to pick. But tonight I will be starting, I think I'm going to start Salvation by Karen Licks. Which essentially it is the third book in the Sanctuary series, where essentially in Sanctuary we follow Kenzie, who is a junior guard on the like space prison called Sanctuary, where essentially this prison is for these teens with these abilities who do very violent crimes. And when the space station is attacked by this mysterious thing, this ends up causing Kenzie to get kidnapped by the prisoners, and it's Kenzie and the prisoners having to find their way off of Sanctuary to save their lives. And this third book and final book in the trilogy, essentially they're on this random planet and have to find their way off, essentially, while being chased essentially by these aliens. That's pretty much all I can describe. I am very excited to finish this series, and also, I'm gonna be honest, I decided that I was reading this book right now, literally as I said it. I do really hope I'll enjoy this because I gave Sanctuary 4 stars, and then Containment, which is book 2, 3.5 stars, so I'm really hoping it'll go, like, it could go either way. I do remember loving these characters and the characters' abilities and all of that. So I will let you know how I do those in the morning, I guess. Okay, so if I look like I've been crying, I did. I literally just filmed an entire, like, almost 20-minute thing of me just crying and talking, which I honestly needed, and I will kind of add some of the things I said in this clip, but I wanted to make this smaller and shorter and a little bit more cohesive and me less crying, although I can't promise I won't start breaking out and crying. But essentially last night I read up to 32% of Salvation by Karen Licks. I'm really enjoying it. I forgot how much I love these characters and I'm mad at myself for not reading it sooner. It's probably going to be like a 4-star read. I do really enjoy it, although maybe not as much as the first one, but it's definitely still really good. And then right now, kind of what I was like crying about in my last thing, oh, hiccups, is essentially mentally I am kind of not doing good. It's just a bunch of things. Like right now, for example, I'm behind on schoolwork. I'm, at this point, not going to be graduating until I'm like 20. And just in general, mentally I'm not where I need to be, to the point that I was literally putting away my clothes there and I was just sobbing. I was just sobbing and letting myself cry, and like, I just in general, right now mentally I'm struggling, and I'm trying to find things to like not distract myself, but trying to find different outlets to portray my, like, help me mentally almost. And so far, nothing really is working that I'm trying. I think it also doesn't help that, not that my parents aren't willing to help, but a lot of the times, like, both my parents are medicated with depression. Like, that's something that I'm comfortable with sharing. Both my parents are medicated for depression. I'm currently not medicated for my depression. I have been diagnosed with depression since I was 11, and I've been off my meds for 2 years, and honestly, the last 2 years have been the best 2 years that I've had in my life. I actually am able to feel emotions and kind of try to comprehend them, although I kind of struggle. And also it's almost like, back to my parents is, for example, I'll sit there and I'll complain about things, and I'll talk to them about things, and essentially a lot of the time my dad won't listen. My dad won't listen, or he'll lash out and yell and be like, well, there's nothing I can do, or, well, go talk to somebody. And I'm like, I have. None of them has worked. And so he's no help. Literally to the point that the topic of mental health is not discussed around him. And then my mom, a lot of the times she tries to help, but then doesn't. But also, like, with my my extended family and what they've gone through, a lot of the times they brush my mental health under the table, because, well, oh, I'm an only child, I have both of my parents still together, I'm homeschooled, I have no problems whatsoever, and that's not the case. As I mentioned before with my parents, and I love my parents to bits and pieces. They are good parents. But, like, yeah, I'm just mentally a little bit iffy, so if I'm not starting a physical read tonight. I have no idea what I want to pick up, and honestly, I'm just mentally not wanting to, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not gonna, like, shit on myself for, like, not picking something up at, like, whatever. But honestly, if you made it to this point in the vlog and you've heard me have this conversation, well, thank you, especially with my wanting to cry self. But I think I'm gonna, like, put this conversation on the back burner, because if I don't, we'll be here for a while and I'll be crying and I'll have to cut a bunch of stuff out, like I already have to, because this clip is over 11 minutes long at this point, and I've probably cut it down to about 5. That's just me guessing. But I'm going to continue Salvation, and I'm just kind of gonna, like, relax, and just do things that are gonna make me happy, because that's what I need right now. I honestly might start another book, like a book that I'm really wanting to read, just to kind of put me in a better mental state, maybe. I have no idea whatsoever. Okay, so it is 2:55 on Friday, and last night I made it to 54% of Salvation. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really enjoying it, but it's not blowing me away by any means. I do love the characters. I love how diverse our group of characters are, and I love the setting, because it's like the setting, it's a sci-fi book, but with almost like a dystopian setting, because we're on a planet that pretty much, like, has mostly been destroyed, and all that. So I really enjoy that aspect, and I will definitely be having this book finished by probably, like, tomorrow night I'll finish it, Saturday night I'll finish it probably. And then I also started, Fuckboy Psychos by C.M. Stunich, and yeah, definitely reading 2 very different kinds of books. But essentially, this book is a dark romance, reverse harem, although technically I haven't gotten to that part yet, where essentially we have Scarlet, who is she's kind of almost like the queen, basically the almost way to describe it is almost like queen bitch of kind of Prescott High and the kind of like local racetrack, and essentially that's like pretty much all I could describe. She has this kind of like fuck buddies situation with somebody that isn't the best person, and then there's also a few other people involved, and like I don't really even know. It's very dark. It's set a few years before the Havoc Boys series by C.M. Stunich, which I read end of September, beginning of October, and absolutely love that. So there's like, it's kind of nice being back in the world. I made it to 38%. I'm loving it so much, to the point that I had to like basically like drag myself away from the book at like 1 in the morning because I needed to go to sleep. But for this afternoon, I know that Hugo from Scientist Reading World is literally doing sprints in a minute. So I will be watching those, as well as just kind of doing some things. Not really sure what. And then I'll let you know kind of as the day goes on. I don't think I'm going to be starting a physical read, because the Avengers Initiative reading challenge, it's like a year, it's a year thing for 2021, and then now it's extending to 2022. But essentially there's a boss battle starting tomorrow, which essentially a boss battles are things where it's like, hey, read this number of pages to do this, like you get this reward, or do this to get this. And there's the big endgame boss battle, which essentially I'm expecting it to be like a whole bunch of reading. And one of the like hosts of the reading challenge said, we highly recommend not starting any books. So I might not start a physical read, but I'm not sure. Okay, so it is 9:21 currently, and I'm fucking exhausted because I got up at 7 a.m. Because I leave for work at, well, about 9:40-ish. I leave for work so that I'm there on time. Because I work today. Part of me doesn't want to go to work, but I have to. I'm just so tired. Because then after I get off of work, I have to watch my little cousin. But last night I made it to 78% of Salvation, and there was like a little plot twist that like I did not expect at all. And it's a really cool plot twist. I'm not gonna say it, but it's something that I've really never seen in a book. And it's mainly because I think I don't really read that many sci-fis. So there's that, and then also a character died that I'm a little bit upset about, but I'm mainly upset about that character dying because of another character's reaction to it. So yeah, I will definitely be getting that finished tonight. And then I made it to 66%, I believe, of Fuckboy Psychos, and things are kind of getting intense, and there is like I guess you could call it like a plot twist that I genuinely almost don't understand. Like, I understand the basic concept of it, but beyond that I'm like, okay, we'll see how this plays out. But I'm really enjoying the characters in that. So yeah, I will let you know how work goes and all of that. I know that like my video for today is currently exporting, so that will have to be uploaded when I get off of work, which is more than fine. I just want to crawl back into bed. Wow, pretty much almost immediately after I filmed that last clip, I got a call from, not a call from work, like a text from work, basically asking if it's okay if I can be on call for the morning, because they've had like nobody in. So like, yeah, I mean, this is their first Saturday open since, well, May. Yeah, since May, and even then they were only open 2 days in May, because of like one of my boss's health reasons. So the last like Saturday we were truly open was April, so a lot of people might not know that they're open today. So they might not get that many people, but like maybe next weekend they might get more. I have no idea. Because I've literally, in the last month, I've only worked 1 day because of how slow they've been. Not that I'm complaining or anything. But yeah. I also literally love how in that beginning clip when I was turning looking for something, I was looking for my phone. I'm recording on my phone. That doesn't show how tired I was. So I was like, oh yeah, my phone's in my back pocket. No, I have socks in my back pocket. And then I was like, oh, where's my phone? Right fucking there. If that doesn't prove that I need to go to sleep or something. Yeah, but I will still let you update it later if I go to work, or if I don't. My video literally just finished exporting as I sat down, because the little logo's now green. Because when my little like editor logo's green, that means that the bar fills up so you can see it. That's like a whole random thing. But I will upload that, actually upload a video before noon. Who am I? Okay, so it is 8:20 and my cousin went home around 6-ish. Yeah, around 6-ish, and I ended up not going to work. But the endgame boss battle has arrived, and I'm briefly going to explain it. I will have to explain it again in my next vlog. But essentially it is, I've briefly already mentioned it, but essentially what we have to do is you have this big web. I'll actually pop the web up here. It makes sense if you look at it in more detail, but essentially you have to start at a character, and you have to work your way through the web, completing challenges, like challenges essentially to like unlock the character, essentially, because these characters are essentially like locked. They are, if you know anything about endgame, they are dusted. Yes, I know that's not the actual characters that are like dusted in the end of Infinity War. We did our own thing where we picked, where like the host picked just random character names out of a cup, and those are the ones that were dusted. But essentially you have to read things. So essentially you have to start up at Nick Fury. Again, I have it up here, and that was to read 100 pages of an adult book. And originally I was like, fuck, I shouldn't have started Scarlet Force. That's a new adult book, and new adult counts for the adult thing. But then, The Night Circus by Aaron Morgenstern, this was already on my TBR, and the goal was to read 100 pages. I read 106, and I've made it further in this than I did when I DNF'd it. I DNF'd it at, I think, 99 pages, if I remember correctly. This, I will briefly explain it. Essentially, there's this circus that only shows up at night. It shows up for random periods of time at a certain location, and then disappears to maybe not show up ever again, or to not show up for multiple years. And essentially we have, it's told in like multiple, not timelines, multiple points in time, where we have, for example, 2 magicians that are like in a competition for something. We have like a random chapter is of some kids that discover the Night Circus, and it's told not in a linear timeline. As I mentioned, we kind of jump around in time, and like we see our 2 main characters of Celia and Marco at various points in their lives. I think as of right now where I am, they're currently like, what, like 17 and 19, I think? 17 and 20, 16 and 19, something like that. Like they're like late teens, early adults. And this, we see them from being young children as young as like 6 or 7 to, I think by the end of it, like late 20s, I think. I haven't got to that point yet. But I'm enjoying this a lot more than I did the first time around. I DNF'd this back in March of 2020 for various different reasons. COVID. I read like one of my all-time favorite books just right before this one. I also think that maybe reading it physically might help. I'm not really sure, but I am enjoying it much more, and I will 100% continue with it, because I am actually now more curious to continue it than I was before, and I'm kind of very curious on where the story goes. So I will leave this vlog here, and if you want to see my final thoughts on both Salvation, Scarlet Force, and The Night Circus, since those are the 3 books that I currently have read, check out my next vlog for that, whenever it's released, because that will have me talking about those books, especially The Night Circus, because, well, I'm only like 106 pages in. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Actually, one thing I do want to pause and just do a quick topic on is my mental health and how I had that like minor breakdown on camera. Still not amazing, but definitely better. I feel like I just had to update that. Like, it's to the point that I'm not gonna cry every 2 seconds overthinking one thing, although that could change at any moment. But thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and bye!